Salutations, my good people, and welcome to the PC Gamer's copium version of Bloodborne. At least it's 60 FPS. Perhaps in the next PlayStation showcase. Surely. No matter, for liesofp genuinely looks like a rather compelling game. I am rather excited for its forthcoming release, slated for later this year. But for now, let us indulge ourselves into this presented demo. Good thing, Souls-likes are what I prominently excel at. Did I forget to mention that I am a pathological liar? Well, no matter, for in combat, there are nary conceptually false fabrications, only truthfully carnal distress. However, simultaneously, lying aids us in protruding the integument of the feigned and assisting in recognizing the forsaken truth. And you know me, I love to lie. Should I be lying just for fun? I'm the type of bloke to get giddy and let out a little tee-hee when I spread brilliant misinformation. Now, let us delve into this approximate 2-hour demo that for whatever erroneous reason took me in the region of 8 hours to complete. Enjoy the experience that caused me to proceed into madness, expending all of my psychological prowess and having me frothing out the mouth, forcing me to apprehend that I possess the gaming aptitude of a game journalist just for the sake of completing this fucked up demo. Anyways, it is my pleasure to present liesofp.
Geppetto's puppet. We need your help.
This story initiates as any other story about degradation and decimating hopelessness begins. In London, we awaken on a desolate train and obtain control of an artificially produced Timothy Chalamet, with the sentient comprehension of murder. And soon after our rouse, whilst wallowing in the sorrowful sight, it came time to select our statistical class and acquire a bladed weaponry. While I can certainly be recognized as a bastard, I ultimately decided on the more cowardice approach. Balanced. Following this, we too abandon the train and orient ourselves into the decrepitly dismal world presented to us as the serving foreground, thus incentivizing us into committing insensible performance of violence. While thrusting our sword and blowing out the backs of our adversaries, adjacently, we begin to understand the controls for this game, which doesn't take a significant amount of effort because I happen to be a Souls-like veteran. And the tutorials were conveniently prompted on like 80% of the screen. But pay no mind to that. Thus, we find ourselves in a position of a slightly more difficult opponent. I capitulate and take the first L, but inevitably triumph over the somewhat strenuous encounter.
Yeah, fuck you! See guys, it was very easy. Look at him. Dumbass motherfucker, didn't even know what hit him.
After additional unbridled pillaging and traversal, I felt the sudden urge and necessity, as a righteous and patriotic American, to exercise the God-given Second Amendment. The right to bear arms.
Oh my.
It appears that we have arrived at the front door in the location of a proper boss fight, pussy. It is foreseeable that the time exclaims for puppetry bloodshed, given that I am a Souls-like veteran, playing the likes of Elden Ring, Bloodborne, Dark Souls 3, Sekiro, Neo 1 and 2, I can securely concur that this shouldn't be a strenuous task. Granted, when I played Elden Ring, it wasn't even me who defeated the bosses, and I played Bloodborne for about an hour and a half because I was notably intimidated by progressing forward and facing off against the cleric beast. I handled Sekiro for 20 minutes. I tested to see if Dark Souls 3 would work because I bought the physical copy for $10 at a comics and game store, and I interacted with Neo 1 and 2 about the total amount that I played Sekiro. So indeed, I can potentially be recalled as a goddamn Souls-like connoisseur. So this shouldn't provide a challenging endeavor. Right? Okay, so I can recognize that this might be a worthy adversary, and that I should do everything except underestimate the puppeteering provocation. Thus, it is time to deploy a handful of intricate, strategical tactics. For initiation, I attempt to impede my opponent's senses by utilizing deliberate and calculated war cries.
No!
Once I realized that this approach was to no avail, I decided that my succeeding plan was to attack him head-on by employing my innate gaming competence. So through a series of dodges, blocks, and attacks, I ignite the sudden remembrance that I fucking suck. Therefore, once I discern that there happens to be a shorter route granting access to the location of the boss, figuring out that I no longer require taking an incompetent detour throughout the previous path, I perform a couple of enhancing upgrades and purchase anything within the merchant's shop that can potentially increase my output of damage. Unfortunately, while I did everything within my faculty to provide any sort of assistance or advantageous benefit, it happened to once again be my scarcely operational Homo sapien functionality that failed me. However, due to the fact that I am a filthy fucking degenerate who yearns and salivates for meaningless euphoric gratification derived from pain and humiliation, thus making me physically incapable of giving up, I steadfast through a couple more attempts, and finally, with an 0-14 losing record, I achieved the unfathomable. I defeated my first ever prominent Souls-like boss.
Yes! Fuck yeah!
It technically is my second ever Souls-like boss that I've overcome. My first one being Aiden, Thief of Fire in Elden Ring. But that isn't as major or as satisfying as this one. So indeed, this feels euphorically blissful. So after the celebratory head in the locker room showers, we find ourselves in the forefront of Hotel Krat. But before we enter, we must primarily peculate from the crowds of corpses nearby, and also answer a rather straightforward query.
Who are you? Grand Covenant's fourth law. A puppet cannot lie. Welcome to Hotel Krat.
Fucking easy.
Once inside, we come face to face with Mommy. Excuse me. Mommy Sophia.
Be careful. Clever one.
After providing us an erudite elucidation about what hardships we must endure, we take an alacritous look around the hotel.
You should take this. Geppetto left it with me.
Well, enough pussyfooting, for we must engage in additional treacherous mandatory traversal in order to reach the whereabouts of Geppetto. Alright, I've grown weary of being so talkative, even though that's the whole purpose of my channel. Nevertheless, here, enjoy this deliciously appetizing montage.
Let's be more careful. The Black Rabbit Brotherhood. I hate these guys.
Get over it. Jeez. Hey, idiot. Maybe he falls. Maybe he falls. He didn't fall. He didn't fall. Dude! Get the fuck back down. You'll rule this day as the day you. I don't know. You'll rule this day as the day you almost caught Timothy Charlemagne. I can't believe stupid fell for it. Ah! Oh shit! He didn't fall for it. He didn't fall for it. Idiot. All of them. Oh, shotgun.
I didn't know anyone was alive out here. I know what you're thinking, but I'm not a burglar. I'm just crashing in an abandoned house for a while.
Hey, stupid. Where the fuck did that guy come from? I'm stuck.
Oh my god, it's the famous YouTube guy, Video Game Donkey! Listen man, I happen to be your biggest fan. Parasocial of course. Although I have to state that I don't quite agree with your disapproval of the Final Fantasy VII remake.
But I want to.
Whoa Donkey, calm down. No need for hostility. Look, I'm sure Nintendo will fix it, okay? Alright, you know? I'm sure Nintendo will get on it. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the fully novel segment of Boss Fight Review. Today's boss fight, Mad Gaming Donkey. Alright, I give his graphics a 7, you know, pretty good graphics. Not too difficult, you know, in terms of severity, not severe. And fucking garbage, 0 out of 10, shit guy. After being decimated several times over, both in-game and psychologically, I implemented the remaining 3 deficiently developed neurons inside my decrepit encephalon to bang rocks together in an attempt to figure out the best method of defeating this fucking guy. Thankfully, I inadvertently stumbled upon the most efficient procedure. But fair warning, this method is not for the faint of heart. No, absolutely not. For this is a methodical process, congested with intricate and convoluting moving compartments, and it can only be completed by a god, possessing overwhelming gaming adroitness. I'm talking top 10 Super Mario 64 16-star speedrunner.
I'll kill you both, then string you up on the bridge!
Ain't no fucking way. Well, GG. Look at you. That's so good. Get out of that. Oh, fuck me, man. Geppetto!
Finally, we meet, son.
I dare ponder what may succeed that ever-engaging boss fight against the highly notorious Mad Donkey.
I'll kill you both, then
Perhaps some further expedition that provides us with further masterfully crafted sceneries. Yeah, I said further twice, fuck you. Or potentially manhandling, or in this case puppet handling, some additional undemanding manufactured miscreants, like Geppetto asked of me.
I need to take care of the puppets at City Hall. Won't you help me, son?
Be a son to me now. I have a father. Godspeed, Spider-Man. Oh.
It is definitely some sort of event, significantly less straining than having to fend off against another boss, right? Oh, come the fuck on! Fortunately, we have been accompanied by Spectre, who shall of course provide us with the requisite aid and encouragement. Although I thoroughly appreciate the ever-excellent double-deckered dick down delivered by the Pikachu puppet, I sensed that a break was in order, and what better method of rejuvenation than a side quest? Proceeding with this side mission, we begin conversing with a visually impaired petrified woman. She starts spewing nonsense about her dispositioned baby and how she wishes to perceive her beauty for but a final moment before the petrification consumes all that she is, a glimpse never to be conceived evermore. Isn't that redundant? Yeah.
City Hall and bring me my baby. Please go to Croc City Hall and bring me my baby.
In any case, we pay no mind because we're a goddamn amoral Goliath-slaying puppet, whose sole purpose of existence is to enhance our murdering capabilities through handsome rewards and upgrades. So off we go, in search of a forsaken child. Therefore, after supplementary failure against the scrapped watchman, I tactfully decide to retreat in order for a proper completion of the extraneous assignment. After all, we possess well-established morals and ethics. She starts spewing nonsense about her dispositioned baby. In any case, we pay no mind because we're a goddamn amoral Goliath-slaying puppet. And this, in no way, shape, or form, reflects upon my own pusillanimity.
Oh, yeah.
No survivors here. What do we do? Just give her that baby puppet?
Hey, lady. Where's your baby?
You found her, kind one.
In any case, we lie to the petrified lady, and she awards us with an absolute banger. Now, buckle your seatbelts, my good people, for this is when the going gets good. I can feel it at the core of my bone marrow. Lightning courses with thunders and shudders throughout my nervous system, causing bane to my meritless existence. Time, which halts for none, ceases with bated breath and aspiration of sighting the victor. A god-trembling duel between 3 equal warriors. The scrapped watchman, intimidating in its stature, corrupted by inexorable ferity. Spectre.
Hold it down, Spectre.
An entity compacted of valor. While we've only met, he will unhesitantly offer up his vitality for the sake of our triumphant conquest. Me. Tremendously good looking. Brutally feral. Viscerally sadistic. Morbidly atrocious. All compendious exclamations that can envelop this petrified coded combat, leaving only one numb and enfeebled champion.
Fuck! Push this, Spectre, that's what I like to see.
Hate that I do this, never feel loose. And when I get up in the game, y'all be improved. A real problem, but I solve them all facts proof. And if you think I'm gon' fold, then you talking fool. Yeah, y'all wanna win, let me spin, boy. On the other side, I'm super fly, like I'm hanging off the rim, boy. I've been winning for my kinfolk, and I put on for myself from the intro. Let's go.
My pride is out the roof, I get that grind.
Just like my real
So
life.
I'ma tell the truth, I get my grind on. You know the pressure make all of these diamonds. I tell them get back, step back, fast track, big lap, big facts. I'm past that. Yeah, I'm trying to get ahead, get out the way. Now move forward, stand back.
Fuck yeah.
Close your eyes.
In conclusion, the liesofp demo was fucking fantastic, and expanded the ever so prevalent hype that I had previously possessed. While it does obtain obvious inspiration from the likes of Bloodborne, it seems constructed with its own identity. Not to mention the game is radiantly beautiful. I mean, look at Timothy Marionette. It certainly leaves an impression. And it has nothing to do with its graphical fidelity, because where it truly expresses its alluring appearance is through the artistry and the well-refined level designing of the game. Plus, I played it in like medium graphic settings, so yeah, because that's like what my PC could handle. Anyways, it's remarked with considerable virtuosity. But then again, I froth at the mere sighting relating anything gothic. And this shit has steampunk in it? Ooh! Fuck, man. bring out the stretcher because I'm having a lethally euphoric overdose. Actually, don't call the ambulance. I live in the United States. At any rate, this game makes this game look like this. Obviously, I'm exaggerating. Please, From Software, I beg of you, as a fellow grime-riddled, tombstone pizza levels of greasiness gamer, please acknowledge Bloodborne's forsaken existence.
Here lies Squidward's hopes and dreams. What a baby.
And provide us with any form of an update. At least a remastered 60 FPS version of it. Alright, I believe that garnered some redemption points, and hopefully I'm not condemned to eternal torment in hell. Now, proceeding with my praising pleasures, this game was not only visually captivating, but the gameplay was unreservedly enthralling. Liesofp has engaging combat and some rather polished mechanics that reach near that of an actual From Software title. The Bloodborne of lying, if you will. And that's conceivably where it differs from other AA and indie Souls-like iterations. Or at least that's what I would be saying if I possessed the necessary finance to acquire those games. So I can merely attempt to discern the quality of these games secondhand. Nonetheless, Liesofp is definitely a passionately established interpretation of what it feels like to spend a day in the UK. However, while this was an exemplary showcasing of the game, I couldn't help but notice some issues. For instance, there were some minor visual malfunctions that presented themselves throughout my playthrough. It was mostly in the boss area.
Alright, boss beaten. What just happened? What just happened?
Along with this, I believe that it requires just an equitable touch of supplemental polish. Succeeding this, I have retained nitpicking gripes with a couple of the mechanics within the game, but that was more so likely due to my protruding ineptitude. I'm dog shit, he's dog shit. However, while I can remain statured and continue singing high praises about what was exhibited throughout the demo, we must collectively recollect that this was just and solely a demo. Nonetheless, I'm still fucking hyped. Well, this has gone for far too long. Not to mention, I have to edit all this bullshit. So, let us conclude this, why don't we? I give the Liesofp demo 0 out of 10 should have had an easy mode.